Now, telepresence is a relatively new concept, especially in Africa. It was introduced to the US and other markets abroad in 2007. Introduce us to this concept.
Now, telepresence, is being construed by many people, as a sort of advanced kind of video conferencing, which is actually, from our perspective, is not true. Because, video conferencing primarily, and this has been really in the last probably 10 years, has been around, has never taken off. Because for three reasons. It's never had, the quality of which would really convince the people really to use it. And the second thing was, it was always very complicated, and not easy to use. So that's the second thing. And of course, the reliability, the frozen pictures and, the voice not really coming synchronized, etc., etc. So those are the three major factors which didn't really help video conference take off. Now, telepresence really overcoming all those three challenges and make it really extremely high definition quality sort of experience. And the way we combined the very advanced technology of the networking, video transmission, and interactive elements, it really creates a sort of, immersive live experience.
Now, the cost of installing a telepresence unit in an office costs anything between $100,000 and $500,000. Central to business today is cost cutting. Let's talk numbers. And if you could use Cisco as an instance, how did telepresence transform or cut down costs for the business?
About 2 years ago, we were spending about $750 million a year on travel costs. Now, with the telepresence, last year we saved about $500 million. So now our travel budget has come down to 250, and there's no way back to that big numbers.
Keep us up to date with the uptake of telepresence across the East African region. You've talked of Rwanda as well as the Kenyan government being keen on setting up telepresence within government offices.
In the case of the Rwanda, so we are still in the deployment phase. So the project has not yet finished, but we guess this is going to take another 3-4 months. And one of the key elements which really we insist on when a customer really wants to have the telepresence is really to make sure that the location is actually ready and is prepared in terms of room readiness. So that's really a major contributor to the quality and the experience which you have.
Now, it took years for telepresence to be taken up in Western markets, which are much more sophisticated and developed compared to Africa. Do you feel that the market is actually ready to get onto that particular platform?
The government of Kenya has also embarked on deploying the telepresence. So, and I think what the government really sees is really the efficiency and again the productivity gain they see, especially in the larger metropolitan area like Nairobi, where the ministers have to travel or the officers have to meet, but they take they spend hours of time just sitting in the traffic jam. So I think that's where the government clearly sees the benefit here, like any other organization. But I think in the case of the Kenya government, and we are extremely pleased that the government has really taken that major bold step to deploy the most advanced kind of the IT technology, is really they're sending a very clear and very strong signal to the marketplace, in terms of not only Kenya but also the wider Africa being ready really to embrace and utilize any technology which is available, and this is fantastic.
Now, this technology demands a huge amount of broadband. How will fiber optic play into that equation?
Fiber optic is absolutely critical. We couldn't use telepresence earlier because we didn't have really the broadband as we needed, like the fiber optic. And I think it's becoming now extremely compelling, both from the technical point of view, in terms of having really a broadband with low latency, which makes ultimately the telepresence really a real experience, and the second from affordability. Because the cost has been really, the cost of the bandwidth has been really the major hurdle in terms of deploying that kind of technologies.
Going forward, what's your going-to-market strategy?
So we have two strategies. One is, of course, working with our selected service providers to make sure that the telepresence initial capex doesn't become a major showstopper or a hurdle. So we want to actually to deliver a managed service package. We have already been working with Safaricom, but there are other service providers we're also talking to. So we see over the next, I would say, 6 to 12 months, a series of packages and services coming either in a sort of bundle or on a individual case basis, tailored to the customer's requirements. So that's the managed service. Telepresence managed service is one of them. The second one is, of course, we want to make sure that the customers also see that the total value of the solution by working with selected customers and building showcases, for the specific customer segments, public sector, corporate, banking, service provider, and ultimately showing to the market this is real, this is compelling, it helps you to become more productive and efficient and reducing costs.